Now here's one that we liked last year, except for the part at the end that we really didn't like. It severely dropped the chainsaw rating last year.
Right.
They promised they made improvements and changes this year. Was it true, Laura? Realm of Terror, Round Lake Beach. Was it true?
Yes, it was. It was true. Actually, I really, last year, I loved the beginning, how they set up the story and then everything inside. But then, like I said before, it just kind of fell apart at the end because it was a dark maze. We did hit, or not dark maze, it was a light maze, white maze. It was, you know, with fog and lights, and you still couldn't see. I mean, we did find out what the explanation was, and it was a great concept. Unfortunately, we didn't know this at the time, and it didn't really work at the time, even though it was a good concept, what they were trying to achieve with this. This year, however, oh, that was great. I really loved it. I mean, of course, the beginning, they changed it up a little bit, but at the beginning of this haunt, I felt like I was at like an amusement park, or, you know, like a studio type thing. It reminded me of something you'd see at Universal or Disney World, something like that. The way they had the film or the elevator, it was the most unique elevator experience I've ever seen. I mean, you do a lot of elevators where they shake you around, and, you know, and that's basically all it is. But in this one, they actually had a whole theme video with it. It was fantastic. I mean, I just love that. And of course, the haunt itself was great because, once again, I mean, you felt like you were immersed into this asylum or whatever we're at. You know, the facility, which is part of the video, where it just all comes together. Excellent. Great props. Acting was great. Just very, very well done. And of course, the ending, it was changed up enough, just enough to really, you know, still make it enjoyable. There was actors, there was still some props in there. It was still a maze, but it was much better than last year. So this year, and I also have to give props and mention the wait entertainment. They were great. They stayed in character. They followed us to the car, and they were just great.
Thumbs up from me.
Thumbs up. Oh, they were fantastic. So this one is a 5 out of 5 for me. 5 chainsaws. Really great. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Highly recommend it. It's worth going there. Once again, this isn't close to us. We had to drive. It's about an hour and a half away from us, where we're from, and worth the ride, definitely. Worth checking out. 5 out of 5. Contender for Hall of Fame.
Yes, I'll have to echo what Laura said. Basically, we loved it last year up to about 2/3 through. In the last third, it immediately dropped to two whole chainsaws for me, personally, because it was nothing but a white maze and a dark maze. They were together, but it was so bad that you had no idea at all where you were at. And there was nobody in there, no actors to scare you or anything. You just had no idea. And after a while, it's like, all right, I just want to leave.
It was long. It was very long.
Okay, it was not fun. That really spoiled the whole effect. And I understand the story behind it and what they were trying to do, but honestly, in execution, it didn't really work. So I'm very, very happy that they said they changed it up, and they were true to their word. They really did change it up. The opening sequence is outstanding. It is like something on a ride. This elevator scene, we see a lot of them, as Laura mentioned, but this one's really good. It's funny, and this is a hallmark of the whole haunt. It's creepy and unsettling and funny at the same time. Okay, basically you see a guy getting beaten to death in a video that you're watching, but you're laughing about it. Not that you should be laughing, but it's just the way it's done. It's very funny, and there's a tongue-in-cheek aspect to the whole haunt, the whole experience. You're in a lab, supposedly an underground lab, and you're test subjects and things like that, and you have to find your way out of this lab. The sets are highly detailed. The corridors are well built. There's always weird stuff to look at, hanging from the ceiling, along the sides of the walls, just weird things, parts of bodies with things sticking out of them, upside down mannequins with little babies coming out of them, and all sorts of weird things, okay? Little kid watching some kids' TV show right in the middle of this lab, which made no sense, but it was great in context. A lot of acrobatic actors. The actors, I have to say personally, in this haunt, there are more actors that hang from the ceiling and do different things than in any other haunt I've seen. They climb the walls, they hang from the ceiling. There was a guy swinging on chains in a room. He was very acrobatic. He was excellent. A lot of the actors have great makeup, great facial makeup, great prosthetics that they have on. Not masks. These aren't just people in masks. These are people in full costume, full gear, everything, and they're full on in their performance all the way through. We came towards the end of the evening where they had been putting on a show for crowds already for several hours before we got there, and the enthusiasm was right there. We loved it. It was outstanding. And I'll mention the ending. The ending was still a white maze and still a dark maze, but done totally differently. In the dark maze, there were flashes of light so you could keep going where you were going. In the white maze, there were rooms where you'd walk into a room and it would flash white, but then a few seconds later, your eyes would get accustomed, and all of a sudden, these things would appear in front of you. It could be like a body, or in one room, it was like a television appeared right in front of you. It was almost like magic. And who doesn't like magic? It just was done very well. It was almost like you were watching it on TV, like this void, and all of a sudden you see something in front of you. It was just cool. It was very interesting. Kept you a little bit on edge. Thumbs up to the actors, too. The wait entertainment, they were great. If we could have taken them home with us, and they wanted to come home with us.
Yeah, they wanted to come. Yeah, we could have taken them with us.
This little guy or girl, I wasn't sure. Sorry, but it was great makeup, so I can't tell. Wanted to get our teeth with the little dentist tool, okay, pliers. And
Excellent makeup on.
Great makeup
great
job.
Makeup.
And this other rather tall gentleman who looked like an alien with some large sort of prosthetic on. And then this other person who kept tapping on the car, going, and running away. Just a lot of fun. After the haunt was over,
Yeah, it was
they didn't have to do. They didn't
yeah.
have to do that. They followed us, and it was a great time. A great time, and it moves Realm of Terror up from my 3 chainsaws last year to 5 chainsaws this year. It is excellent. Lives up to the hype this time around. We really enjoyed going there. It's well worth the trip. You should go too.